Hey everybody, Katie here. I just wanted to do kind of an impromptu video this morning talking about shipping, particularly using cubic priority rates to do some of your shipping. Yesterday I put a post up in the Boss Facebook group asking people if they were using cubic priority rates at all to do any of their shipping and looking at ways to save on shipping costs, because as small business owners who sell online like we do, shipping, whether we charge our buyers for shipping or if we just build it into the cost of or the price of our items, either way, shipping is probably one of the biggest costs for us as business owners. So I want to make sure that everybody at least knows that this is an option out there. I know for me, I sell clothing, so the majority of the things that I sell, I can actually send either in a first class. I'd use like a poly mailer and send it first class if it's under £1, or if it's over £1. Like a lot of the stuff I sell, like jackets and stuff like that, most of it I can actually send in a padded flat rate envelope. So those cost like what, like $6.90 I think to send about when you're using the eBay shipping. Occasionally I have to use like a medium flat rate. It just really depends. But I recently, like about a month ago, Teresa had turned me on to cubic, Teresa Cox, she had turned me on to using cubic priority rates because she had seen a video that Chris Lynn had done. He had the guy who actually founded Fit Shipper. I believe his name is Joshua. He had him on his show and did like a whole interview with him. And so I went and checked it out and found that it really did save me a lot of money on some of the things I ship, particularly things like shoes, which I do quite a few shoes, and those can be pretty expensive. And right now I do free shipping on everything that I sell, and so finding a better way to ship some of these bigger, heavier items really helps that I can't put into a flat rate. And in some cases it's even better, even if I could fit it into like, let's say a medium flat rate box, I'm still able to get better prices using the cubic priority. So you might be wondering what cubic priority is. Now, I'm not any kind of expert on this. Like I said, I just kind of learned about this within the last month. I don't know everything, but I am going to just kind of tell you what my understanding of it is, and I'm actually going to show you an example, because like I said, we were talking about it yesterday in the Boss Facebook group, and people had questions and were wanting to have like a little bit more of like almost like a hands-on, or at least see like how it's done. And so this morning I actually got an order in for a pair of shoes, and I realized it'd be a really good way to demonstrate to you guys how this will save you money. So what is cubic priority? Okay, so if you're sending things priority, you already know that if you're just, let's say you're just doing straight priority, you're using your own box, maybe you're using a USPS, one of the regular priority boxes, it's not a flat rate, then the cost is going to be based on the weight of your item, as well as the distance that it has to travel. So you should know, if you've been doing this for a little while, you should know that, let's say somebody orders something from you the next state over. I'm in Nevada, somebody in California orders something. Sending it just straight priority is usually the cheapest way, because even if it's a few pounds, it's not going to be more than like maybe $8 if it's, you know, whatever. If it doesn't fit into a padded flat rate mailer, I'll just send it straight priority. It's great. But if I have to ship that same item, let's say to New York, that same item might cost me $16, $17 to ship it straight priority. So in that case, it's important that I either use padded flat rate mailers, the envelopes, if it can fit in there, which a lot of times it can, or if I'm sending shoes, some shoes I could send in a medium flat rate, which is going to be cheaper than sending it by weight priority, because it's going to be like $12.50 as compared to like $17, right? And so with the flat rate mailers, the flat rate boxes or the padded flat rate, it's going on the shape, or it's going on the box that you're putting it in. So whereas straight priority is based on the weight and the distance, the flat rate boxes and envelopes, it doesn't matter where it's going to be the same rate no matter what. So like I said, padded flat rate envelope, I think it's about $6.90 if you're buying it on eBay. It doesn't matter if it's going to the next town over, or if it's going to Alaska or Hawaii or New York, it's always going to be the same price, right? And so that's sometimes really good. The padded flat rate envelopes tend to be really good for things that are over £1 but can fit in that envelope. Same thing with medium flat rate, large flat rate. It doesn't matter where it's going, it's always going to be the same price. And sometimes that's the cheapest way to do it. Now, cubic priority, it takes into account basically the cubic size of the package and the distance that it's traveling. Now, the weight doesn't really matter up to 20 pounds, just like with the flat rate stuff. It's up to, I believe, 70 pounds, flat rate priority. So with cubic, I believe the limit is 20 pounds. And so then they have different tiers for the cubic rates. It's 0.10, 0.20, 0.30, 0.40, 0.50. And that's based on, it's basically 0.5 means it's half a cubic foot. So it's based on, you look at like the length times the width times the height, and then you divide it by a cubic foot, and that's how you get that number. Now, it sounds super complicated, but this is all done for you through third-party software. eBay does not do cubic priority at this point. I don't know if they have any plans to do it right now. But again, cubic priority, it's based on the cubic size of the package as well as the distance that it is going. Now, cubic priority isn't going to work for everything. There's a certain point where if it's over 0.5 cubic feet in size, it's going to be too big, and then you're going to go be back at square one of having to send it straight priority if you're sending it priority. So it's really for certain size of packages. Now, one thing I've found really, really helpful is that I know that the priority shoebox, now this is the priority shoebox, it's open on one end, but this is a priority shoebox that you can get for free on the USPS website. So clothes, this is what size it is. This actually fits like a good amount of shoes, like as far as like ranging in different sizes. And so this box right here, you can use this to send any priority, whether it's regular priority or cubic priority. You can use these boxes because that's what they're made for. Now I know that the measurements of this box, the dimensions of this box, falls within the range of a tier 0.40 rate for cubic priority. So this helps me because I know right off the top of my head, if something can fit into this, I know that it potentially qualifies for cubic priority rates, or definitely qualifies for cubic priority rates if it can fit in this. And these are great boxes to use because they're actually really simple to cut down if you need to. If you want to cut it down and try to get it into a smaller tier, a lower tier of cubic priority to get it even cheaper, because, and I'll show you in a little bit how I use Fit Shipper, and it actually will tell you, give you comparisons they'll tell you how much you need to cut a box down in order to get down to the next lowest tier so you can save more money, if that's a possibility, right? So this is like just a really good reference point for me to be able to say like, oh, this would fit in one of those boxes, so I should at least look at some comparisons in the price. So for instance, this is what I'm going to be showing you today. I sold a pair of cleats. Now these aren't the exact ones, I'll show you in a second, because the ones I have are all wrapped up. But basically these are a pair of baseball cleats, Adidas. These ones are size 13. The ones I'm sending are actually size 16, so they're huge. So I have this pair of cleats, right? And the ones that I am shipping, they don't fit in a medium flat rate. They would have to go just regular priority as far as the size of it goes. So now these ones, the ones that I sold, I have them all wrapped up right now, shrink wrap. So these are size 16, they're gigantic. So these ones that I sold, I paid like $15 for them. I sold them for $47.99 with free shipping. So it's super important that I can send them the cheapest way possible. Personally, I like to do everything if it's over a pound priority. Some people, it's more important that they just find the cheapest way to send them. So of course, I could potentially send these FedEx Smart Post for another cheap way of sending things, but the way I run my store, it's really important to me that I get my product to my buyers as soon as possible. So I want to do priority if I can't do first class. Those are the parameters I work within. And so, I just don't like that like Smart Post is going to take potentially up to 7 business days. I don't want anybody waiting that long for their stuff. And so if I can find a cheap way to do it, and I'm going to show you cubic priority sometimes, depending on the size of what it is that you're sending, it can be cheaper even than doing FedEx Smart Post, which again is going to could take up to 7 business days, whereas priority is going to take 2 to 3 days max, depending on what part of the country it's going in. So I've got these shoes, I wrapped them up, and I'll explain to you why I wrapped them up, but I wrapped them up, makes it easier to ship them, and it also is going to make the package a lot smaller. So I've got these weigh 3 pounds, okay? So on eBay, I can't fit these into a medium flat rate. On eBay, the cheapest way to send them, it is, they're going to Mississippi. So actually, even if I could put them in a medium flat rate, it would be better just to send them straight priority, because these would cost $11.80 to go to Mississippi. So, you know, a medium flat rate is what, like $12.45, something like that. So it actually is a little cheaper just to send the straight priority to Mississippi. Now, if these were going to New York, it would be more like $15, $14, $15 to send them straight priority. So you'd want to find a cheaper way, but straight priority through eBay, $11.80. Now, based on weight, if I did FedEx Smart Post, I could send these for $9.65. But again, I don't like doing Smart Post. I don't want it to take 7 business days. I don't want my buyers to be waiting for 2 weeks to get their product. So I want to find a cheaper way than that. But this would cost $9.65 Smart Post going to Mississippi. So now I've got my shoe box here. And these shoes, they're size 16, but they actually will just fit into this box, right? They just fit in the box. I can actually close it along its regular folds, and they just fit in there, okay? So I know that I can fit them in this box, so I want to check out what it would look like if I did cubic priority to send these shoes instead of straight priority, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off. I'm gonna share my screen with you, and I'm gonna take you through the steps of doing that. And the little trick is, so these fit perfectly in this box, right? But I also wrap them up. Now, the other thing I do a lot of times with shoes, and I'll be showing you when I share the screen, I'm gonna show you how this is gonna make a huge difference. The other thing I do is that I'll wrap them up like this. This is a pair of cleats. I put them into this poly mailer, but then once it's inside this poly mailer, I do actually tape it down. I get it really tight. Let me show you real quick. So I have them in this poly mailer. This is the biggest one you can get from the eBay shipping supplies. And I will like wrap it all up, and I will tape it down. Anyway, I'll get it as small as you can possibly get this, because you can only go so small because it's the actual size of the shoes, right? So that's how I'm gonna ship it. So I'm gonna show you why that's important here in just a second when I show you my screen. So I'll be right back. Okay, now we are on my screen for Fit Shipper. I've taken out all the address information other than the zip codes. I can't really show you the main screen for the Fit Shipper just because it has people's contact information, their names, and I want to make sure I keep all of that private. But this will work for now. And you know, like I said before, there are several different companies that you can do this through. I just happen to do it through a Fit Shipper. I'll talk about that a little bit more after I come off of the screen and I wrap this video up. Personally, I use Fit Shipper, and so I'm just going to use that today to kind of demonstrate what it is that I'm doing. So with Fit Shipper and like other third-party companies that do this, they do automatically import all of my information, all my orders in from eBay. So it would already have like the address and everything to and from as far as where this package is going. This one is 3 pounds, like I said. And so you can see before I do anything, you can already see these numbers down here, the different shipping methods. It says like what the flat rate prices would be. So like the padded flat rate, you can see here it's $6.91. So it's a penny more than what you would get through eBay if you were using Fit Shipper for all your shipping. I only use it for the stuff that I'm doing cubic priority rates on. Otherwise, I just purchase and print my labels through eBay. And you'll see here for where this is going, it says right here, cubic priority rate, and it actually shows the range. And this depends on whether you are in tier 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. So it ranges anywhere from 714 up to 1377. And again, this is up to 20 pounds. So I'm only doing 3 pounds. And so the savings isn't going to be as huge, but let's say this was 10 pounds and I couldn't put it into a flat rate. It would make a huge difference because the priority rate would be much, much higher than this 1181 that you see down here for the 3 pounds. And again, on eBay, this is actually 1180, so it's a penny difference, nothing really. So looking at the cubic priority rates, we're going to go ahead and imagine that I'm putting those shoes in the shoe box, with which the dimensions for that are actually 14.25 by 7.5 by 5.25. So those are my dimensions. This is not an irregular package. I don't need to do anything else. I'm not looking for insurance. It's going to zone 6. So now I'm going to hit get USPS prices. And it's going to show right here. It's actually going to show cubic priority rate tier 0.4, and it's going to be $11.54. Okay, so you're looking at that and it's like, all right, it's a little bit cheaper, but it's not even quite 30 cents cheaper. It's a tier 0.4. So you're saving 30 cents. Is that really worth like going and doing your shipping through something else? Maybe, maybe not, probably not. But this is what I like about FitShipper in particular. You see right here, there's this little calculator and it says cubic resizing calculator. Determine if the box can be resized to save more money. I don't know if any of the other companies do this. I'm pretty sure that Pirate Ship does not. I don't know if Stamps.com does it. Pirate Ship is a free service that you can use to do this. Some of their rates are actually a little bit cheaper. It's not by a huge amount. FitShipper does cost $5 a month. I like it because of this particular feature, especially. But when you click on this, so this is going to show you how you can alter your box. So let's say you were doing like a jacket or something that's soft. It might be a little easier to alter your box. With shoes, these shoes fill out this box pretty completely. You can't really make it any shorter than it is. So it's not really an option, but you can see where it says it's cubic tier 4. To reduce it to tier 3, resize the box one of the following ways. So you can either reduce the length of it by 1¼ inches. You can reduce the width of it by 3/4 of an inch, or the height, or by a 1/2 inch. So it's showing you if you change the dimensions in this way, you're actually going to step down to the next lowest tier, which is going to save you some money, right? Okay, so let's go back over here. Now, what happens is I took those shoes out, I wrapped them up like I showed you, and even though when you put them in the box, it seems like it fills the box out completely, I was able to save some, to actually make them a little smaller by just shipping the shoes directly in a poly mailer. And so what it ended up doing, let me show you this, I was able to bring this dimension down to 14. My 7.5 stayed the same, but my height actually changed to 4.5. Okay, so let's see if that makes a difference. And it does. It brings me down to 0.3. I'm at tier 3. Okay, so now I've gone down to $9.49. Now instead of saving 30 cents, I'm actually saving looks like $2.30. Okay, so I just saved $2.30 by just changing the size of it a little bit. And so generally when I do shoes, I don't even bother putting them in the box at all. I just go ahead and immediately wrap them up. It doesn't take very long for me to do it. I've got my little shrink wrap thing. And because I know that that is going to be the cheapest I can potentially send it, because I can't get it any smaller than the product itself. So that's what I do. Now, let's pretend like we are sending this to somewhere even farther away, because right now it's at Mississippi, so just a regular priority rate is $11.81. But let's say we were sending it to New York. So let's change this over here. We're going to say New York. We're going to make up a zip code. New York, I know, is 1. So it starts with a 1, so we'll do that. I'm going to change this. All right, let's go back up here. Let me show you again with the shoe rates in a box, in the shoe box. So it's 5.25. We're going to get the prices right now. And now we're back up to tier 4. And so it is $14.18 as compared to just the regular priority rate, which is $14.89. So again, not a huge difference. Now it would be if it was a heavier item. So I'll show you that here in a minute. When let's just do this real quick. Now let's go back up and we'll take this down once again to 14, 7.5, 4.5. Get the USPS price. And now we are at cubic priority rate tier 0.3, and now it has dropped down to $10.77. So basically, with this one, if I was sending it to New York, I would save more than $4. Okay. And you can also see that what you saw before with the FitShipper when I was showing you going to Mississippi. Do you remember how I said it was $9.65 to send it FedEx Smart Post? That would take up to 2 weeks for it to get to your buyer. The cubic 0.3 cost was only $9.49. So it's actually cheaper, even cheaper than sending it FedEx Smart Post to send it through cubic priority. Okay, let's try real quick. Now let's say you had this was like 10 pounds. And I'm just going to keep it at this, this size. We'll get this. So it's still the same price, because it doesn't matter that it's 10 pounds instead of 3 pounds. It's still going to be $10.77. But here, let's see, do they even show the regular? Yeah, priority rate, $35.62. So straight priority would be $35.62, and you're still paying $10.77. So it really makes a huge difference. All right, I'm going to get back on the camera. I'm back, and hopefully that was helpful for you guys, and it's gonna help you to save a bunch of money. Bottom line is you want to be looking at cubic priority rates and comparing them, get familiar with what they are. I didn't show you everything about them, but I gave you one example of how they can save you money. And for me, it's all about the shoes. I do some jackets, I'm able to use the shoebox, the priority shoe boxes. I just sent one yesterday that I was able to cut down to get to a 0.2 tier cubic priority rate, which brought it down. It was only like $8 to send this jacket that I could not fit even in a regional A box, which would have been like 10 something. And so it really does save you a lot of money depending on the prices, or depending on the size of what it is that you're sending. But please check it out. Again, I use Fit Shipper. I'm not associated with them in any way. It does cost $5 a month. For me, it's worth it because they have that little calculator that you can click on to kind of compare everything. Also, the guy, again, I think his name is Joshua, that started Fit Shipper. He is an eBay seller, so when he created Fit Shipper, it was really looking for ways for him to ship his things more affordably, and so he kind of understands better than most people maybe would, most companies would, of exactly the challenges using the eBay system. And so another feature that Fit Shipper has is that it actually imports like any messages, like, you know, when somebody buys something from you and then when they check out, they might put a little message in to their order. And you can see that on the screen. When you're in eBay, you can see that message on your order screen. And so with Fit Shipper, they actually import those as well, so you don't ever miss anything in case there's some sort of special instruction around packaging something. Maybe they're asking you not to put an invoice in there because it's a gift, whatever. It does import those there too. So personally, I like the way it really shows you comparisons. But you can use, I know Stamps.com does it, although I think they're paid. I don't use Stamps.com, so I don't really know what their costs are. I know Pirate Ship is a free one. And again, their prices are even a little bit cheaper than Fit Shipper. Their rates on most of their stuff, but not huge. So to me, again, $5, just a flat fee, no matter how much I ship. $5 a month is well worth it, but you guys can kind of go out and explore and figure it out for yourself. But hopefully this helps you save some money. Helps you be a little bit more competitive, helps it to be a little bit easier for you to do things like providing free shipping for some items depending on their size. Again, this is perfect for shoes. So if you sell shoes at all, you should definitely be looking at something like this, because shoes can be tough if they don't fit in things like a medium flat rate. And now that I've gotten to know the cubic priority rates, they're better than even if I could use a medium flat rate. They're a lot of times they're a lot cheaper depending on the size of the shoes. So I'm super happy that I found this, and I'm hoping this helped you guys out. If you have any questions, or if there's more that you would like to know about this, please put them down below. Definitely be in the Boss Facebook group, because like I said, we had a huge discussion about this yesterday. And so it's a really good place to be to hear about this kind of stuff, because in that group, we're really all about the business side of things and finding ways for people to be more efficient and how they're running their businesses. And something like this that's going to save you a lot when it comes to shipping can make you much more competitive against other sellers. So yeah, come and join us there. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you know when stuff like this comes out. And join us in the Facebook group. And I really appreciate your time, and have a great week.